Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. It is basically winter time. I think right now it's like 35 degrees out. It's a chilly one, definitely. And tomorrow we're gonna get our first snowfall. I don't feel like coming out here and making a behind the scenes video when it's snowy out, so I figured, hey, why not shoot a quick video today and talk about essentially the things I do prior to starting a mower. And we're going to be using the John Deere Q810E 36-inch stand-on commercial mower. Shout out to John Deere for hooking me up with this nice sweatshirt at Equip Expo. Let's go ahead and open everything up and go step by step. There's probably like 8 to 10 steps, things that I look at prior to starting my machine. It's very important to do these things. So let's go ahead and begin. So here it is, the John Deere Q810E. And prior to starting it, the first thing I always do is check my oil level. Now this is very important because this accomplishes a couple things. First of all, you check your level to see if it's low or overfilled, if you've recently filled it or topped it off. If it's low, you could have a leak somewhere. In this case, my oil, it's a pretty new machine, so I won't have any oil issues. But if your oil level was low, you could potentially have a leak somewhere. Loose fitting, you want to inspect that. If your oil is cream color, you might have water in your oil system. You definitely want to get that replaced. And if your oil is pitch black, you definitely got your money's worth out of the oil, so it's time to replace it. It is no good at all. Just like on a car, you need to change it once in a while. The second thing I look at is the air filter. Now this is very important, especially if you are mowing properties on a daily basis. You can blow it out from the inside, take an air nozzle and blow the inside all the way around the air filter. If you're in a pinch, I always recommend to replace these. I know they can get expensive, especially again if you are mowing dusty properties. Okay, next thing, fuel check. Do you have fuel? Check this in the morning. Guilty, I raised my hand, guilty. I showed up to plenty of properties with like a quarter tank of gas and I'm like, oh, I'm so dumb. I gotta go to the gas station now. My John Deere Q810E actually has a fuel gauge, so I can clearly read that it has a full tank of gas. Sometimes on different mowers, it'll have kind of like a transparent fuel tank or translucent, whatever the word is, where you can actually see the level of the fuel. And if you're in anything under half a tank, guys, get it refilled first thing in the morning. Now this is something not a lot of people talk about or do. If your mower has been sitting for a while, do this. Smell it. Does it smell sweet? Well, if it does, then you more than likely have bad gas. I wouldn't even recommend trying to start your machine because more than likely it's not going to start. Drain it all. Put fresh ethanol-free fuel if you can. That's my recommended fuel choice. And then and only then fire up your machine and see if it'll start and run. All right, guys, step 5. This is your best friend right here. For what? Well, to check your tire pressure. On these rear tires, I think my maximum is 20 PSI. Nope, my max is 22. What I like to do in the mornings is check my tire pressure because if you have uneven tire pressure, this can result in an uneven cut. So if I look on my tire gauge, I'm probably sitting at around 18 PSI. It is winter season and I'm actually not mowing. But if I was, I would actually throw some air into this left tire and the right tire, a little bit crammed, but I check my right tire PSI and make sure both are sitting at the correct PSI. But what uneven tire pressure does is, again, it doesn't level out the deck correctly. You're gonna notice first, uneven driving, and second, uneven cut. Another very, very important thing to check is the amount of grass buildup underneath your deck. If you recently mowed a wet property, you more than likely have a deck that's completely clogged and caked full of grass. As you can see on mine, it's not super bad, but I have clogged plenty of decks completely. What happens is you're not getting that airflow circulation of grass that's being cut by the blades. It's essentially ruining your cut quality. It's also going to make your mulching very poor. And on top of that, if you don't clean it up, what's going to happen is that moisture is going to lock in on the metal of your deck and start to rust, start to eat that metal. So you want to take a scraper bar and clean off the deck entirely so that way you don't run into any of those issues. Another quick check in the morning is your belts. Do you see any frays? Do you see any cracks? Is the tension good? If this was really loose, I'd be scared because more than likely this belt will slip off. This is a wear and tear item. Belts stretch out over time. They crack, they fray, and that doesn't mean that you can just overlook it. Check it in the morning, see if you have any cracks, and maybe, just maybe, over the weekend, replace it. The last thing you want is your belt to snap mid-property, and then you got the half of the front lawn done, and you got to tell the customer that you're going to come back. I always think about worst case scenario. Imagine your belt snaps, you don't have a spare, you call your dealer, they don't have it. Well, now your whole mower is out of commission, and you're like, let's say it's Monday, you got a whole week of lawns to mow. Now you got to bust out the old push mower and push mow every single entire property. Flashbacks. Been there, done that. Work from like 7 to 8 p.m. Nightmare. Have plenty of stories. Maybe one day I'll have to share some crazy lawn stories with you guys. Let's talk a little bit about safety. Do all of your safety switches work? Well, how do we test them? In this case, we kind of keep it at the end of the list because if your safety switches don't work, then more than likely your mower's not going to start. But if you start it up, release your parking brake, hop on the mower and engage the throttle, increase the throttle and engage your drive levers, and the machine works, then more than likely all of your safety switches and mechanisms are working. Now, if you do all that and your mower doesn't start, well, you might have an issue with a safety switch being faulty. I've had one go out on an old riding mower before, and I couldn't get it to start. All I got was like a click, and I couldn't understand why. Well, the safety on the seat went out, and so I had to replace it. But it was a pain in the neck to diagnose because I'm like, I don't even think of safety switches. It's like the last thing. You think of, oh, starter, spark plugs, all the, ignition components. You don't think of safety switches. So those are very important. Hey, since we're back here near the battery, check your battery terminals. Make sure they aren't corroded. Guys, I've seen it before. Over time, old batteries, they start to corrode. They aren't lubricated. You start to see corrosion build up, and then you have to take off the terminals, clean the cables, clean the battery. I don't believe I've ever ran into a no-start issue with corroded cables, but I'm sure it can happen, and I'm sure you could potentially lose some power. I don't know, all you pros out there, chime in the comments. Let me know if corroded battery cables can cause a no start. I am 100% sure they can. So checking it quickly in the morning just to make sure your cables are not corroded will help you avoid any no start issues. All right, guys, and the last thing on this list is to start it up and just listen to how it sounds. Even if you did all of the checks in the world, visually you saw that nothing was wrong, it doesn't mean that something isn't off. Start it up, see if it smokes, see if there is any weird vibration, see if there's any squealing noises. These are all things you need to listen for and look for after your machine has been started. Just to remind everybody that has been watching my videos on this John Deere Q810E Quick Track mower, you got the Quick Track daily service. So look at this. Basically everything that we have talked about, including some more things. You got your check engine oil, your hydraulic oil, check for leaks, inspect your tires and air pressure, your safety system, brake system, air filter system, and so many more things. You even have an after each use, check all of those things. I do recommend that. I fall short of doing that because I'm constantly on the go, going to a next property, next property, next property. So there you go. There's something I need to work on. But again, guys, this is no joke. Take these preventative measures and you're not gonna have to worry about any no starts or any issues on your first lawn of the day. Thank you so much, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want a complete downloadable free PDF checklist, I will have it linked in the description of this video. Go ahead and check it out. Also, if you want more information on this John Deere Q810E, I will also have a link to the product page where you can go ahead and check it out. Thank you again so much. Take care. God bless you, and we'll see you in the next one.